empty. I'm back again to show you how to make a base for a mini album using the Tonic Keepsake Insert Creator die sets. So for this one, you've got a gatefold cover with some magnets to keep it shut. So when you open it then, you've got pages which flip left, right, left, right, and then a big central panel in the middle. So when you fold it, again, back and forwards like that, and shut it. So to make this album, I'm going to use, again, the Tonic Keepsake dies, the Life You Love, but it works with all the shapes. So there we are. So we're going to be using this to make the entire album and just these two outers to decorate. Now to make the back, you can either just cut a square, or I found that my Sue Wilson Pierce squares are the same height as the Tonic die, and this comes from the B set and it's the fourth one in, so it's my B4 square. But if you haven't got a square die, just cut a square. I'll be using my foundation cardstock from Creative Expression, which is 220 GSM. So I'll just gather everything ready and we'll start making the base. So to make the base, you need 4 pieces of A4 cardstock and the outer die itself. Now if you've only got a small machine, these are great, because that's all we're going to be doing is cutting parts of it. We're not going to use the entire length, so you don't need the bigger machines for this. So to make my cover, what I did, I cut the short bit, and I cut it just beyond the first, second, third score line. So you've got all this, the scored piece, and just a little extra piece. And I cut that twice, like so. This one I've already folded, so I'll show you how to do it using this piece. Now I've cut and trimmed this just about 1/2 inch from the last score line. You don't need to. If this isn't neat, it doesn't matter. But what you're going to do is you're going to fold it on the first score line from the patterned edge and score it, and the third one. So you've got that. Okay, so when you've done that twice, you're going to turn one the other way, and that's going to be your gatefold. So this is my B4 square cut with my Sue Wilson dies, but if you wanted to cut a square, it's 13.2 centimeters by 13.2, or in inches, not as good in inches, just over 5 1/4. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take some tape and run it down the edge. So I'll just let it hold for now for me, but the glue will keep it strong once it's dried. I think I just burst my glue. I've just filled it up, so I think I've overfilled it. And what I'm going to do then is attach it to the back of one of my squares. Now I'm not going to put it right up to the score line. I'm just going to bring it back just a fraction. Otherwise, your main pages are going to knock when you come to put them in. And again, exactly the same, the other side. A bit of tape just so it holds for now. And I'm just going to use the edge of my glue bottles. And the same, I'm going to attach it, not quite up to that score line, just a little fraction backwards. And there we have it. That's the cover already done. Let's get rid of that glue. And that's your cover. Okay, so I'm just going to grab everything ready to make the pages and I'll be right back. So I'm ready now to make the inside pages. So to make that, that's all I've done is cut the big page this time. I want this piece between the first two score lines, so I'm just going to cut it up to there. So that's all I do. I lay it on my card, cut it out and send it through my small machine. And I get that. So you see I've got the big page, the first score line, and the second score line, and a little bit of waste. And I want to cut 4 of these. I'm going to fold along this score line. You could cut it with a scissors, but I find on black card it's really difficult to see. So here's a quick tip. Fold down that edge. Take your cutter and take that fold up to the joint. So I've just butted it up there. Open it back up and cut. And now I've cut along that score line without having to worry with the scissors and being able to see. So after I've done that, I'm going to fold the first score line. So you've got the page, the first score line folded, and I've cut the second score line. So I'm going to do that twice. And I'm going to do just like I did before, put some tape so it'll grab instantly, but then add some glue, which I've managed to clean up whilst I was gathering the pages, down, make sure I get up into the corners. And just put those up to each other. And there we are. That's your page done. Rub away the glue. And make a second one. So you need 2 lots of these. So now we're going to attach these 2 pages to our cover. Now, if you saw the original, they folded one in from each side and overlapped. So how I did that was, I want this side to be the first one. I'm going to take some double-sided tape down the center, just to help me hold it immediately. Take the glue, clear the nozzle, much better. Make sure I get up to the edges, and I'm going to attach it to the left hand side. Now I've got this score line quite faint here, but I don't want to centralize it, otherwise the 2 sides would be exactly the same. So I'm going to actually bring it towards a front of my album, just a fraction. Okay. So that tape will have held it. So that was brought to the front. Now my second one, I'm going to attach to the other side, and I'm going to take it from that center line back towards the center of the book, that'll just offset the pages slightly, which will mean then they fold into each other rather than to the same spot. So last time I took it to the front of the book, so this time line up the top. So there's my central line, move it back slightly, straighten it out, and stick it down. And just wait for it to grab. It's probably difficult to see right now with the black, but what you've got is your back piece. Now you can leave it like that, but I'm actually going to cut another square, and now that I've finished everything, I'm going to attach this, which will hide all the back and also add some extra strength to it. Make sure I get the corners. Okay. So now this is the back of my book. This will just hide those two joins. And there we have it. The base is complete. So because we offset them, there's a bit more of the gap this side than that side. So this one comes in first, then this one, then this one, then this one, and then your gatefold opening. Okay, so I'm just going to go and cut some papers and attach them, and hopefully that'll help make it a little bit more obvious. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're ready now to start decorating. So you can see how it all works. Open, and I've already started with the center, and I've kept the same paper going right across. So I've used my Sue Wilson squares again. So these are the pierced squares, so they look really nice because the piercing matches the piercing on the Tonic die. So I've cut one square out of Sue Wilson set B, so it goes in a little bit, and two of these larger die sets. Now remember, if you do have a pattern which only goes one direction, such as wording, you will need to flip your die over. So once I've done the back, I'm going to flip these two, and we're going to add these orange papers. Now these are from a Nitwits digi kit, and they're a Halloween themed one. I think it's called Eerie-licious or something. I'll add a link to the description below if you want to know more. And I'm going to attach both of these to the right hand side here. Taking the glue up to this fancy edge and around the outside and a bit in the center. So this time I'm going to come to this edge. So you can see now when you open it, you're going to get two matching pages this side. So I'm going to keep doing the same. So I'm going to open this side, and this time I've got words, so it says My Little Monster. So because it's a directional paper, I've turned my die to cut one that way. Just unclog again. I think I overfilled my glue tonight. Make sure I've got the words going the correct direction. There we are. And the other side. Again, I'm clogged. That's better. And I'm going to put it this side. Now, for my final bit, because you're going to see through the gap, I've chosen the same paper for all 4 of the next pieces. So I've got 2 of the big ones and 2 of the smaller ones for the flaps. So let's attach this big one first. And one of the smaller ones. Turn it that way. And the last little piece here. And before I attach my final mat to the inside, this is optional, but I'm going to add a magnet here. So these are 0.5 millimeter wide by 10 mils diameter. So I'm going to add a little bit of tape and attach here. And now I can add the final decorative piece to the inside. Now, while I'm here, I'm also going to add a bit of extra glue on top of my magnet and around it. And there we go. So I'm going to add my magnet here. Put some tape on the front of my book. And when I shut it, hopefully it'll catch if I put the tape in the correct place. Yep, it has. Okay, so when I come to put my next cover on, it'll hide that magnet as well. But I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the cover yet, but I wanted to show you with the papers because I think it's much easier to see. So your magnet is there. You could put a belly band instead. So it opens that way, opens that way. Hang on, I didn't put them the correct way around. There we are. So open on the left, right, left, right, left, and the center. So looks complicated, but as you've seen, it's not too bad at all. Quite simple. And that's all I've got left now is to decorate the pages and make a cover. But there we go with the base. If you have a go, please let me know. I'd love to see what you do and how you interpret the base and what sort of pages you'd put inside. Thanks for watching, and over to you. Thank you very much.